Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be going into the Walsenburg city meeting over here. Apparently, they are trying to pass an ordinance to raise utilities without the public's knowledge. So, we have been asked to come down and cover it in person. So that's what we're doing. We're coming down here to cover it in person. Had a couple of great cop watches and interactions today. It was awesome. What's up, Eminem? Let me get you here, bro. What's up, John? Great to see you. Eminem, you should have a wrench now. Got good citizen media.
What's up? Let's get set up and
Get some better light over here instead of staring at the sun.
There's a cop. There's a cop.
Oh, there is a cop. Who is that?
This ER.
Oh, that is. Well, you got another officer over here that was trying to stay out of sight. The one that's getting in the white blazer over here. Yeah. Yeah. You got him trying to stay out of sight. He was sticking in his car, staying behind the tent.
I gotta get out of jail free card, bitches. Oh, I suppose we better do this.
All right, man. Well, we're gonna go inside here. I don't know how well reception is, so just let me know if I'm cutting out or whatever.
It's all cut up, cut out.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, you gotta take it off. Walk down the long hallway.
Oh yeah, we haven't done that yet. Hey Cheryl. This way?
That way.
Yeah.
Good. How are you, sir?
Rick. Stop, Rick.
Doing the same old.
Same old, same old.
Just limping a little bit more.
Oh yeah, that happens.
Right, Cheryl?
Make sure.
I don't know. I kind of feel like a jerk with a giant stick sitting all the way on the front. We'll stand up here. I know.
Yeah, I can do this.
I think that shows how many people come to their meetings as far as like how many chairs they have set up. Not a lot of people attend these meetings.
So that's where it does that game.
not be recording yet.
Yeah, I wanna show you something. This is, where is it? Seven, right?
Uh-huh.
Why is it being discussed? If it's being voted on here.
Just three so far?
The next year.
I think they might be two separate things. I think that this is just a rate increase, and this is about
He's in the
billing.
building and he's got his stuff there, so we'll have to leave for
It doesn't have the G,
I think that.
the billing deadlines for the city.
So that's not included in these three
All my
ordinances?
team is,
Cause I
I'm
saw
not
it.
gonna walk in the door.
I think what it is, right, is to amend those ordinances to certain things, I think, like
This
certain
is-
billing
This
dates.
is not a rate thing.
Right.
Okay. I guess we'll find out.
I mean, you can always ask them to clarify what it's for. You know what I'm saying?
And I think it's just as well. Makes screens, so she went back to the country.
Yeah, you sent them the link, I know, cause we accepted it.
Walsenburg.
Yeah.
No?
Okay.
Tell them I said you're welcome.
Todd Miklovich, our CPA,
Yes,
he's supposed to be coming in.
you just got here.
He's there?
Yes, they're just adding him right now.
He may be the only finance guy we got. Good morning here and thank you for.
I guess I need to actually change that.
so quiet at a meeting.
My speakers are, thank you.
I don't know if you started the recording yet.
Everything's on.
It's all on? We still got 5 minutes. Go on and run it for chance.
John's coming, I see him.
Is it go by?
Mr. Martinez.
No, you're good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, before we start, anybody wants to sign up for citizens' comments, has to sign the sheet there where it's permanent. Hey, great. Okay. Well done. Hello.
Is this something? I don't know what that is. What is that back one green?
It's the same one I approved this morning, I just didn't finish it.
Everybody's got enough chairs, looks like you do. Hey, Rick, Jack, I can help them with chairs, if somebody comes in, if you can help them get some chairs, that'd be great.
Those are Monica's on that far away over there.
What's that?
It's the tape that we get from Mark, so I left them on the front there.
I'll leave them there.
Everyone's here, call the March 19th regular council meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Ecker?
Here.
Mr. Jennings?
Here.
Ms. Mays? Here. Mr. Behill?
Here.
Mr. Stafford?
Here.
Mr. Martinez?
Here.
Mayor Barsani?
Here.
And quorum?
Thank you. Stand for the pledge of allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I entertain the motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Motion to approve tonight's agenda.
We have a motion by Nick Hill,
Second.
second by Rick Jennings. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. No consent agenda tonight. I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes of last meeting.
Motion to approve the city council minutes of March 5th, 2024 regular meeting.
We have a motion by Don Martinez, a second by Nick Hill. All in favor? Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. You got all the staff reports in front of you, the first one, city attorney. Any questions, concerns? Hearing none, we'll move on, city administrator's report, if there's any closure. Questions, concerns?
Is she not showing us now?
Nope, she's gone, Springs I heard, and Jim more sick, so neither one. The only person we have, I do have Todd on Zoom for finance. Roger obviously didn't make it yet either, he was trying to get here. Okay, service order report, any questions, concerns, comments? Moving on, city clerk Richard Colander has an enclosure. Concerns, comments? Water sewer consultant, Mr. Harriman. Anybody have comments or concerns on his report? Okay, the only thing I got, when are they putting in those things?
When the weather improves next week.
Telemetry?
Yes.
So they can monitor the dam? The two dams up in Louisa, so they keep, the state, good thing we went with the state, they keep postponing it, so it's their fault, so we're clear. Hopefully we'll have telemetry at the two dams in Louisa shortly. Gas department, Calvin Aguirre has a enclosure, any comments, questions? Building inspector, Mr. Martin, you have anything to add?
No.
Good, any questions, concerns? Code enforcement, Henry Azell has an enclosure. Questions, concerns? Hearing none, we'll move on. Jax Ryan Wilder with animal control has an enclosure. Any additions? No? Questions, comments? Good, this is a little quicker. How do we get so many staff? Parks Department, Ray has no report. He is out, so there's nobody representing Parks right now. Good thing it's winter. Human Resources report, Sharon is gone, has no report. Jim Moore has an enclosure, but he is not here, he is not sick. Any comments or concerns? Financial report the same, he is gone, and the aging report is enclosed. Any questions or concerns, comments? Paid invoice report, Stephanie Barr has no report, that comes the first of the month. Bank balance report is enclosed, any questions or comments, or you wanna give the report?
The city of Walsenburg, as of February 29th, 2024, has a total cash balance of $12,337,428.19. The city has an operating pooled cash balance of $6,602,061.74, with a balance of $5,735,366.45 cash not directly available for operational use.
Any comments, questions, concerns? Preservation Board, Brian and Lander, has any closure? Comments, questions? All right, citizens' comments. First up, Stephanie. You're allowed 3 minutes.
Alan Baumgart, did I say it right?
Yes. Good time, most people don't. My name is Alan Bombria, I live in Ward 3. And I just had a couple of questions about, agenda item 7, the water, sewer rate hikes. My first question is, the attachment that shows that there's a deficit in water and sewer, was that from internal numbers or a, independent?
Audited 22 numbers.
Nice. Okay. And, the recommendations that I read there, who made those recommendations? Where do those come from?
We have a CPA, he's on Zoom right now, Todd Mikulich. And I screwed up his name.
Okay, so those are the CPA's recommendation?
What's that?
Those are the CPA's recommendations?
One's a CPA, one's our interim administrator, who's a finance person, come from Commerce City, and then Mr. Moore. So we have 3 people, and we haven't come to really a conclusion yet. They've offered 3 or 4 different scenarios.
Okay, because that was my third question. There's not really very much detail there. It doesn't say anything about what proposed rate hikes would be, what it would even look like. I guess you.
That's what we plan on discussing tonight.
Okay,
We
good.
didn't get all in detail. We had a work session the 27th. We didn't get everything done yet.
Okay, because, I mean, it just, the bullet there just said, read, just, and vote, and the date's already there, so. I'm glad there's gonna be some
Hopefully
discussion.
it'll be more clear after we're done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Carmen Laura, she wanted to speak about the finances, animal control, potholes. Is it Zoom requirements? Is that what you wrote?
Yes. Carmen Lara, Lara. Okay. First of all, who up there on the dais read your packets for today? Have you read your emails? Good job. And because you should be asking many questions, and I haven't heard any really very many questions. You should have a ton of questions, because I do. Anyway, I want to start with the finances. So finances, on the revenue to expenditure budget report, March showed some revenue. February showed no revenue, or very little revenue. So what happened to January's revenue? It disappeared. So I would like to know what happened there. And express bill pay, I have brought this up many times. Mr. Moore moves money out of the express bill pay bank account when he feels like it. There is now, I think, $80,000 that has been moved from January, I believe. I do running spreadsheets on everything, so I can tell when the numbers go up and down. You all need to do that too. So, you need to watch those finances, because we're already over on some items. So there's a lot of money being spent. The ACO position that you're going to be discussing today, I was on council when I approved that description, the original one. That position is for evenings and weekends. That is to help the regular ACO out, not to just be there at the same time, because Jax Ryan should not be there 7 days a week. He should be there 5, and the other one should be there too. Okay, potholes, you need to start putting out bids for that. You can't just let anybody do it. It has to be a contract to do your potholes. The Zoom meetings, last meeting, there were several people that kept coming out, Hi Hitler and a bunch of stuff. That was Kim, Todd, and I believe Mr. Stafford, you said something too, because your name pops up when you do it. So you need to remember the people who are on Zoom need to give their first and last name. That was approved by council too, so if you just have Todd or whatever, you need to put your full name, and hopefully they'll put their real names in. So anyway, you need to really follow up on things, especially the finances. We're already going down. The bank account, though, the numbers are, a little bit higher. The utilities and all of that are lower, so I'm still asking what happened to that revenue. Anyway, I guess that's enough, because,
It didn't look like the utility revenue was even there yet to me.
well, it was at one time, but in March,
It wasn't in this one, yeah.
the first pages for March,
Right.
$57,000, and now this month, it's gone. So what happened to it? I mean, there was intergovernmental revenue, and a bunch of stuff, business licenses, it's gone. Where did it come
Yeah,
from?
we're putting a lot of effort into getting some financial people to try to get this.
Yeah,
taken
because
care of.
it should be rolling over.
I just don't understand how finances change.
Yeah, they shouldn't.
Well, yeah, that's a problem too. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Robert Ellsworth, he wanted to speak up about the rate increase for sewer, water, and gas.
Good evening, everybody. Walsenburg is the last name, ELLSWORTH. And actually, I just want to add a couple things to that, because I agree with Carmen on two things, that the Zoom, there is a process. There is a way for whomever it is that takes care of letting people in, for them to only unmute them when they're ready to speak. So there is a way to solve that. It would be nice if you could get another sign when you crest out of Northlands and come over to First Choice. If it's allowed, put a sign up that says school zone. That might help people slow down. Just try to pull out of any of the First Choice or the dollar store. You really have to talk to people at speed. So about the rate increase, as I expressed last time, I am against it, but I am for if somebody uses 100 gallons, as in my business, or 1,000, 5,000, or 10,000 gallons per month, that they pay more. There is a great way for the city to have a better increase in their revenue than to put a flat tax on everybody all the same. Those who use it more, put more tax on the system. I was gonna add something else, I want to thank you guys for your effort. Thank you.
Anyone else in house? On Zoom, it's D-May Sandoval. You had your hand up before? Okay, there she is.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, yes.
Unfortunately.
Thank you. Deemay Sandoval, DEEMAES SANDOVAL. I just have some comments that I would like to make. The city attorney mentioned employee compensation in her attachment. I don't understand why it took a council member asking the legalities and proper process, since this topic was brought up several times in several meetings. Isn't the city attorney there to advise and guide at all times? The city administrator has been absent from some of the public meetings since her notice of resignation. Her report states that she was inquiring about HR policies and terminations. Rather interesting, since she recently fired the HR person. Why now? She's on her way out. Looks like the issue with Fremont is not going away. It appears the city will be needing that second opinion. In Mr. Moore's report, he addresses PIF pledges and collecting from Northlands, but he doesn't state a dollar amount. He stated that there's document discovery from Northlands, and why do those numbers keep changing? Mr. Moore states community banks does not offer a waiver on minimum on money market accounts, as had been reported by several at the last council meeting. Thank goodness Councilperson Mays questioned the requirements of the money market account, because what was presented at the meeting by the city admin and a private citizen was not factual information. City admin has given resignation, yet she is getting legal advice on termination policies. Again, I repeat that, why now? Private citizens telling council what has worked for their personal situations has nothing to do with the way the city is run. One last thing, has policy changed on the way the agenda is handled? The agenda has changed several times since last Friday when it was first issued, with numbers and also anyone can be added to the agenda at any given time to make their presentations. Is that something new going forward? Thank you.
They're allowed to get on the agenda 24 hours prior to the meeting.
I thought the agenda was supposed to be set by Friday at 3.
We'd like to have it by Friday at 3. It makes it easier, but we have to let somebody on up until 24 hours prior to the meeting.
So is anything
Thank
added
you.
today? It was all on there by 6 o'clock
By
yesterday.
4 o'clock yesterday. The City Hall closes at 4, so they got till 4 Monday. Theoretically, it'd be nice to have them by Friday, is what we like, because we got time to do everything. But we have to legally let them on Monday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Stacy Decker on Zoom?
Good evening, Walsenburg, STACYDECKER. It's actually on the screen there too, if you didn't know. How about them Rockies, huh? Yeah. On the subject of water, if we convert to a consumption increase, sure. The fees, my one question has not been answered yet. I threw it out to my reps. Are we allowed to default on that debt that provides so much of a cost to us each month on the water and sewer and the gas bills?
Not without risking our water rights, I would think. It's the water.
Okay, so that's something that it would be nice to understand the complexities of that, because that is one of the key elements that really does hold us back from being what I would see as successful in increasing the consumption rate and getting us in line with many other cities in Colorado where the water rates are less expensive than all of the fees applied, if you will. So that was one of those things that I didn't know if it had been discussed, if the lawyer brought it up, if the advisor brought that up as well. So I am in favor and okay with a consumption rate increase. You could also do a consumption rate increase such that the fees are included in that consumption rate, such that your bill currently is about the same rate it is now. So you can change the rate for consumption such that a $60 bill right now or $150 bill right now is about in line with the same. That way, if there are fee changes, it's absorbed within the consumption rate. That's one of those things that realizing that over a period of probably approximately 5 years, Denver changed their rates from a quarterly to a monthly, and then to I forget what it was, but basically what it boils down to, any fee change that we have discussed cannot happen overnight. It would, in my opinion, kind of break the city in some respects. So you guys are having fun with all the numbers. Thank you so much, and we'll chat later.
I don't see anyone else on Zoom.
Anybody else?
No.
Continue. Roger Tinklenberg, welcome.
Thank you.
Made it. And then I got Todd's on Zoom. So when we get into the financial part, the rate changes. Next up is presentations. Jackie Sykes, you're up first, Housing Authority Building.
Jackie Sykes, SIKES. Yes, I have a few comments that I'd like to make, actually questions regarding the water and sewer rates. To the best of my knowledge, what I've been able to find is you have 3 different rate structures currently. There is the ordinance fee schedule, which is on the municipal code, and then the rates that are on the bills, and none of those match that I can find. So if you're going to be adjusting the rates, it would be very beneficial if you had a consistency. Right now, there's no way for me to justify what we're paying because I don't know what to use. What do I use on as what you're billing? Because nothing matches. So I would think that that would be the priority for you. And if I'm wrong, if you could please direct me to the proper ordinance that you're billing Also, there's different classifications, residential, commercial, industrial, multifamily, and several others. Does the city have an index of those categories? Does anybody know? So what my question is, do you know how many commercial you have? Do you know how many residential, multifamily, industrial?
I don't know how many of these there are, no.
So there
I've
isn't
seen
an,
the codes, no.
there isn't an index of that? So,
There may be, I haven't.
yeah, okay, so I would like the council, when they're reviewing this rate increase, and I understand that it is a requirement, and I understand that nobody wants to do it, but I would like you to look at those categories and ensure that you are charging people uniformly. The information that I have right now, you are not. So there are people who have several living quarters and have one fee. Some have no fee, some have all fees. So it's very important, if you're gonna put a $50, I'm just saying, hasn't been decided yet. If you're gonna put that on the citizens of Walsenburg, it's imperative that everybody be treated the same and follow the ordinance. Whatever it is, follow the ordinance, and I believe there's evidence that that's not being done right now. The housing authority is, if you do raise it, I'm just saying, for 50, if you do $50, it would be a rate increase for us for about $25,000. We are a income-based, so we have no way of passing that on to our tenants. We have to find a way to absorb that. So I'm sure we will, but it is really, really important that we understand that everybody is treating the same. We are currently paying to water our grass, and there should be no reason why multifamily that I know of, why a multifamily agency can't have grass and water it. I believe my tenants are entitled to have grass in their yard just as the house next door, and we have to pay for it. So those are the type of things that I would like you to look at in this, your rating structure.
You don't do the winter averaging?
No. No, and I've had our attorney here several times, Miss Barr. I asked Miss Barr about it when we met. Our attorney met with her and Mr. Moore and Mr. Stombach. We've been dealing with it for quite some time, and the answer that I got is they were told to do it by I don't know who, and that's as far as I've been able to get. I do know that the ordinance does say that I can at the city's authority, I can put in a separate meter and meter all those, but I don't believe that, I would like that to be reviewed. I believe there's other people that are not. I know there's other people that are doing the exact same thing and are not paying those rates.
What ordinance are you referring to? Do you have a-
1144.
And you brought up those different categories. What category do you have in common?
Veronica, those were in Mr. Harriman's report last time.
Point of order, Ms. Jeff, thanks, that's the floor.
And you had mentioned about the fees and that $25,000 number. So are you paying a fee per every unit, or what fee do you pay now? And where are you getting that $25,000 figure from?
So I'm saying if you increased the, if you increased how we pay right now, if you increased the bills by $50, excuse me, that is what it would be for us. So we pay different, we have several different sites.
That's what I'm saying though, so.
Okay, yeah, you can find out, Stephanie can tell you how many we have, Veronica, and how we pay, if you don't mind.
No, that's all, I'll request it that way, thank you.
Thank you.
You brought up the fee, so I just thought I would ask, because that was part of the discussion that we've had up here. is raising those fees versus consumption, so those have been kind of two different scenarios that we've talked about, and so when you brought up the fees, that's why I'm asking you specifically, you know, you brought up the different multifamily, you know, different things, but are you paying just one set of fees, just like you would pay at your own personal home? Are you paying separate fees for every single unit that you have? Where, that's what I was asking, but I will ask that from you.
Yeah, I do understand the question, and I thank you for that, but like I'm saying, we have several different sites. So there's, depending on the units, numbers for each site is how we pay.
I will look at that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Jackie, isn't, what you're referring to is like watering the lawn?
Yes,
Okay. So you're paying a sewer fee for that?
yes,
That's what should be corrected, is what you're saying?
well,
Because there's no way to meter it?
yes, we can meter, we can separate the meter,
Okay.
okay? My question is, I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to put a separate meter, but I want to be sure that if housing is going to spend the money to do this, that everybody else is going to, and that's not happening.
Why should you need a special meter is my
So-
question, because everybody else doesn't have to have a special meter. It's averaged for the months of December, January, February, and November. There's 4 months. They can't do that with the housing?
Right, yes, so the situation is that we have a city block, and we have 16 units on that block, and we have our office. It's on the same, that is on the same meter. So if I need to separate the lawn from the office, which I don't understand, because the office, we have a sink and we have a toilet. That is just like a house. So I am having difficulty understanding why this is a requirement. There's nothing that we do that is different than a house. And I have tenants who have 1 bathroom, and they should be able to have a lawn, right?
So does every unit pay the fees for water and sewer?
Okay, so we have several different sites. So every site is different based on the number of buildings that are there. Some we do and some we don't.
Would you be against every single-family dwelling paying the fees for water and sewer?
Well,
And then alleviate the lawn thing, have it just the same as the house?
no, of course, that's, so you're saying, think of it financially. It would be beneficial for us to put in a new meter.
Right.
Yeah, it would be beneficial for us, and I will do whatever, but I know that we are being treated differently than other agencies.
Well, I think everybody in this council wants to treat everybody the same.
Okay,
And if we gotta raise rates, I think every single family dwelling, no matter what it is, the muni code even says it, pays the fees, the debt service fee, the line fee,
sure,
et cetera, just like every house. And then you should be treated, if you want a lawn, the person that lives in that apartment should be entitled to have a lawn and pay the same as I pay, or whoever pays.
sure,
I would be for making everybody the same.
sure, that I agree, but I would like to have an idea when you come up with that, how are you going to do that? It isn't done now and people know, so how you're going to do that between now and when you institute it will be interesting. I'm just bringing forward my concerns as you're addressing.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Okay,
There's a lot of these things I didn't know.
thank you.
Any other questions to Jackie? Okay, next is,
Thank you.
You doing the Walsenburg LLC too, or somebody else? Okay. We didn't get your name on that. Could you state it for us, please, and spell it?
Brianne Wardell, W-A-R-D-E-L.
Thank you.
And I am part owner in Warfno LLC, which is a mini storage company that owns property in Wahatoya Industrial Park in the Northlands, and I'm also the primary manager of the company. Over the past 7 months, I have also to the mayor and planning and zoning, regarding Fremont Concrete and Ready Mix's presence in the Northlands. I understand that the project seems to have been jump-started from what I can understand without going through the proper channels. And I also understand that some of those who were in administrative positions at the time the project started aren't here anymore. So I'm sure the current council does feel that it's difficult to work backwards from this point, and for that reason, it's difficult to know how to respond to your questions. But I do believe that the issues are there whether we like them or not, and I would like to have them addressed. Specifically, I want to further address the zoning of Block 3 and the zoning of Block 2A, which shows inconsistencies in the recorded data. The city's comprehensive plan for the Northlands and how Fremont fits in with that, and the impact the project poses to the businesses and the residents of Wahatoya Industrial Park. Other concerns include public health, water usage, and contaminated water runoff. Even outside of Fremont's project, the zoning in the Northlands is contrary to both the comprehensive plan and the municipal code. And unless it is dealt with, I do foresee this beginning of many issues in the future. So I am aware that tonight the council has many issues to address, so I would like to request that the city of Walsenburg and the planning and zoning board schedule a joint work session where anyone involved in or impacted by the issues in the Northlands can come, so that all problems can be clearly stated and we can get a clear idea for how the city needs to move forward.
I would not be opposed to that, and I'm sure planning and zoning would. I was asked to recuse myself because I'm kind of in the same business.
I understand.
And I've been getting a lot of emails from more than you have complained.
Yeah.
And I started forward to planning and zoning, they told me they wasn't getting there, so hopefully they're getting it now.
Right, yeah. Well, since it does involve the two entities, that's why I wondered if we could do a joint work session, and that way we can avoid the, we didn't get the email, we know that that happens.
Probably the sooner the better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me get with David Rounds, that he's the chairman,
Mhm.
and, see if we can put a work session together in the next week or so.
Okay,
Okay.
and then, if you need my contact information, it should be on my Google Docs.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions there? Moving on, no public hearing, unfinished business approval of animal control service technicians who have an enclosure. I thought we approved it last time, but I guess we didn't. Didn't you make a motion last time?
I did, I don't know, if we had an administrator who showed up for a meeting, we didn't have.
The motion that was made last week was just to approve the ACO that you had approved in the previous council meetings. We had brought the, job description up to you the week before that, or the council meeting before that, and you decided not to, approve that. You didn't even, you tabled it basically. And the, and then the job description, the job that's opening right now for Jack's help is, strictly the, inside work, which is what this job description is supposed to entail.
Mayor, if I may, I listened to that
Mr.
meeting.
Ticklenburg, go ahead.
I listened to that meeting and the motion was to approve the part-time position job description.
So it's already done?
So we already had a part-time position approved from a previous council. That was some of the kind of things that weren't clear. There was already a part-time position that was approved.
That was
in
for a
22
part-time ACO.
I'm talking, in 20.
Well, you talk
part-time-
over me all the time, so I'm gonna continue.
Point of order, please. Veronica has the floor.
I give up, I don't care. I'm tired of.
Treating people that way. She's a council member.
And I'm a human.
Please.
I was trying to put what we were doing, what we've done in the past, what we set forth, and what we agreed on last week, or whenever it was. I did not realize another position is gonna come in front of us. I agree that one ACO in the field 7 days a week is not something that we can maintain, should maintain, or can maintain. And to have just a person in the office who isn't out in the field doing paperwork, I thought that this part-time position was gonna be a backup to the ACO as well as help with some administrative tasks as well as, I mean, I don't know, I didn't know we were gonna get a whole new job description. So,
I don't wanna really restrict anybody's hands. I mean, if you have part-time help, I think you kind of use it as you need to. If not, it's too hard.
And if I remember the first job that was approved back when, it covered all of that. And it was 20 hours a week, this one's 25 to 30.
Yeah.
You know, and these, pay bands haven't even been approved, jobs are just getting added and there's no order, we're just hiring people, new minimums have been put in place without our, going to council.
And we don't have the money to do that.
There you go.
Well, are we okay? Mr. Tinkleberg, do you think we're okay?
Well, looking at the minutes from the last meeting, it says that, there was a motion by Councilmember Mays to replace the ACO part-time with admin part-time. It was moved and seconded and approved unanimously.
So that's all we need,
And
right?
it was a replace, and that job was a 20-hour job. This one's instead of a 25 to 30-hour job. It was replacing the job that had already been approved.
I don't know anything about that, I'm sorry.
I can clear it up.
Go ahead.
All right, first off, when I was in that part-time position, I was working over 40 hours a week, part-time.
Jax, can you stand up here?
Anyways,
Thank you.
I worked 40 hours a week in that position. The job description and what I need per PACFA regulations is someone to do paperwork. That's it. Paperwork and take care of the dogs when I'm not able to be there. I'm still working 7 days a week. Finally got a couple days off, but I got another dog in the kennels, so I'm back at it. That's all I'm asking. The longer it takes to push this through, the longer I have to work. And I get it, maybe you guys are trying to get me to be tired and leave or whatever. Because no, I don't have to have this job, but I'm good at it. I have fixed it up to this point, and I will continue to fix it and do what is right for this.
Well, what is wrong with what we passed last time?
No, you passed it, but now it's being confused yet again. And the hours were always in the description. It was always gonna be 25 to 30 hours a week. And it's pending on the amount of dogs that I bring in. Yes, so if we're having a light month, then that person isn't gonna work that. And I'm not gonna work 50, 60 hours a week. I'm gonna come in 35 hours, because I don't want overtime. I don't want it, I don't need it, don't want it. And I
Okay.
do need a
Are we good,
professional.
are we good with what we passed?
Yes.
Or Mr. Tinklenberg, we good with that? Veronica?
As far as I know.
We're good.
You need some clarification.
We have no revenue that comes in, because dogs are getting caught and sent back, we're not following any ordinances, any rules, anything else, and, we just keep bleeding.
Well, you approved it last time. You
I
stated that.
approved it to replace that job we already had, just adding the administrative piece to it, that's what I.
That's all we need, right?
But that's not what this is, so. I'm one person, so if the other six want to do it.
Mayor Vazani,
I can't do
Please.
that, Carmen, or I'll
you
open it
let
up.
him up. You let him up.
This is his, animal control. I can't.
I was a council member when I passed that ordinance.
All right,
That's it. Are we done?
I think.
Well, council members, say something. You guys can speak too. No. It's not clarified. You need to clarify.
Just take a vote on it.
Please. Somebody wanna make a motion to the enclosure we have in front of us? Or the motion to just reapprove what we approved last week? Comments? I'm not gonna get a motion yet.
I see a purpose to reapprove something we already.
There. Is everybody good with moving on, leaving it the way it is? I need some direction, folks. We good? Leave it like it was last time? Alright, moving on. Next. I mean, if you want the floor, Veronica? Okay. Number 4, discussion approval of interim city administrator Sharon Jakubowski Waltz's resignation letter, which is enclosed. Comments, concerns, motions? Sir?
I'll make a motion to accept the city administrator resignation letter and relieve her of her duties today.
Okay, I got a motion by Nick DeHill.
Considering she hasn't been present at several meetings lately, hasn't been in the office lately, I believe she's already gone, so I'll second that.
We got a motion by Nick DeHill, a second by Veronica Mays. Further discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Martinez?
Yes.
Mr. Jennings?
Yes.
Mr. Stafford?
Yes.
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Mr. Eckert?
Yes.
Mayor Grisani?
Yes.
Ms. Mays? Yes. Passes.
Okay, new business. Do you have anything else, Nick? Go ahead.
If you wanna pay her till the 25th, I'm okay with that too.
I can't believe we're doing the same day today.
I'm okay with that too, whatever you guys want to do.
Mr. Tinklenberg, you interested in working out them details with the attorney?
As far as, last payment date?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. That good with you guys?
I meant to ask a question before we voted.
Go ahead.
Ms. Vera, was there anything in her contract that we should consider, that we should have considered before that vote?
If you want to give me 5 minutes to circle back to this, I understand that the motion was to relieve her of her duties effective today. I think you might want to make a clarifying motion, but if you just give me 5 minutes, I'll give you some further guidance.
Okay, we can go back to you then.
Okay.
Wow. Number 5 is discussion approval of our interim city administrator professional service agreement with Mr. Roger Tinklenberg. And you have it in front of you. Discussion, motion.
So my question is, has this contract been vetted by Ms. Vera?
Katie, did you see this at all?
No, this contract was not sent to me or presented to me.
Yeah, I sent you the one where we had him as a consultant, and I think I failed to send you this one. It is actually very similar, I think.
Okay, I haven't had a chance to review that.
You have time, you have that, you can get it online, right? In the packet?
Yes.
Okay. So, we'll wait for your review of that if it's possible tonight. If not, we can continue, I believe. With our concerns? Anybody have anything?
With the contract?
Yes.
The price?
My, yeah. He better be good, cause he's high dollar. But I think the city with the things at Northland and the water rate study and shorthanded we are with everybody in the building, we have to have some help. And I have all the faith in the world. Of course, don't get too excited, I have faith in Tara too, so. But anyway, I think we need some help desperately, and, we're hoping this is the answer and get us straightened out. Mr. Tinklenberg does not desire to be full-time. He wants to retire one day, but can't figure out, he likes working, I guess. So, we're gonna probably use him and try to fill this position, maybe work for somebody and, get us kinda up to speed and, working like a city's supposed to work. And so I would encourage a motion to approve.
I don't think we can proceed without our attorneys. I just don't, I mean, that's why we paid the attorney to, review these and not bind us. And we have to, I mean, again, that price tag is high. I don't see how we keep bleeding, how we keep paying out all this money everywhere.
Well, I'm thinking, what I'm hoping for is we pay a ton on attorney's fees and CPA fees elsewhere as well. So I'm hoping to save some of that going this way too.
But we've done no interviews, we've done no anything, and when we interviewed back in November, we interviewed 2 candidates, one of them being Sharon, and we interviewed another candidate. I mean, we haven't even had a formal interview, and you wanna proceed with the annualized $176,000 a year contract. Where is this money coming from when we're sitting here telling citizens that we wanna rate hike them? I mean, it keeps adding up. Where do we get this money from? And I've said time and time again that we don't have pay numbers from the finance department, so where are we paying this?
I'm hoping to save it from, attorney's fees and, CPA fees, plus we desperately need the help. I mean, I would entertain any kind of proposal to do it differently. Anybody got one? I don't know what choice we got, so.
Well, I agree with Veronica that we do need to wait on, the lawyer to vet this and make sure it's a clean contract before we even entertain the motion to go this way. I agree with Mayor Walton, we need help, we need it right now, but we need to see what this mayor says before we go on this.
I don't know, we're having trouble getting financial advice for this rate thing, that shouldn't have taken this long. We got a weakness there, we lost the HR person, now our attorney resigned, current administrator's now gone. I don't think we can wait around, so that's my way.
I just want Miss Vera to give us the okay on the
How long is that gonna take?
Well,
Or it should take more than 10 minutes.
Katie, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I really haven't had a chance to look at what the term is and what the scope is. I mean, I can look at it during this meeting, but I'm kind of playing catch up here.
Would you mind doing that, and then we can, move this to the end?
Sure.
Okay. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on. Approval consideration to include Laser Park Youth Camp in the $500,000 Brownfield grant. This grant is aimed to support the revitalization and remediation of brownfield sites. I was contacted by Economic Development and Lois Bradley. They got a grant to do the environmental impact of a bunch of different areas in town. This is one they want to do. It doesn't cost us anything, and it would actually give us, we would have that study done for us at no cost if we ever decided to do something with that location. So the only negative I can see is if they found a bunch of asbestos or something where we'd have to clean up. If nobody was there, we'd be better off, but I think it's a good thing. It clears the property. If you want to get any kind of grant, you've got to have this study done, and they're paying for it.
I think there was a study for asbestos.
And it's clean?
I believe so. The only thing is there was was just some tile, which is what we would consider that non-friable or whatever. That study was done in,
We have a copy of all of it. This
I
one
wish
here.
I had access to my old records out there.
What this would do is they're doing it. They got a grant to have somebody do the study, and then we'll get whatever it is. And then if we want to apply for a grant or whatever, we already got the study done, and that's one roadblock we don't have to cross, so.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's up to you guys, whatever you want to do.
What
It doesn't cost us anything to sign up.
No, we just, all they want is a permission to access the property. They're gonna do the inspection.
I'll make a motion to approve, including Lathrop Youth Camp in the $500,000 brownfield grant.
I got a motion by Don Martinez, a second by Nick Hill. Any other comments? Concerns?
Do we know what other properties they're gonna?
There's 5. She told me what they were, but I can't remember. They're all in the county. They located, there's nobody here from economic development either. Brad and her both told me about it, but they're trying to do, they know to get economic development and possibly do something with any of these properties, this has to be done first. And so they're doing, even though they have no ties to any of these properties, they got money to get this done, to get extra money.
I was kind of interested that would be.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's on there, no. I wish they would have, yeah. This is the only one involved with the city is this one, and they're just asking for permission to get on the property and look at it. Anything else? Roll call.
Mr. Jennings?
Yes.
Ms. Mays? Mr. Behill?
Yes.
Mayor Barsani?
Yes.
Mr. Martinez?
Yes.
Mr. Ecker?
Yes.
Mr. Stafford?
Yes.
Passes.
And no cost to the city, correct?
No, you swore there was none. That's, they got the grant and they're doing these 5 spots.
And they'll provide us with a report.
Yes. I don't have nothing in writing, I'm going, it's over the phone thing, and then what's on here. Number 7, approval of water sewer rate increase. I would like to start out a little bit, and the financial experts can correct me if I'm wrong, but this kind of started back in 2017. We refinanced the bonds that were used to build the 2 treatment plants to take out the loan for the pump station at Northlands in 2017, and then a year later, we borrowed some more money to build City Lake. All total was close to $20 million we borrowed. Back in 2017, when they done this refinancing thing, they did not address the debt service money for the water enterprise fund, which includes the sewer. And so it's been falling behind since. Like 18, 19, 20, there wasn't, right now the bond payment is $1,116,000 a year. Back in 2020, the finances show it was like 300-some thousand. And then through the 3 or 4 years of Northlands payments, they wasn't posted to the water and sewer funds. So then in 2020, they hit it with $478,000 of revenue. So it made it look like it wasn't losing as much money as it actually was. They should have posted the $163,000 every year versus putting the $178,000 all at once. So that left us gradually losing money in the last 4 or 5 years. I've got several scenarios, and I'm gonna hope to convince my financial guys here. I've got, if everybody looks at the enclosures, and Rick Jennings, you were with me at the meeting the other day. Todd had mentioned leaving the capital. We could transfer $335,000 of capital money into that fund, and Todd has changed his mind on that. So instead of raising $600,000, we're looking at raising $1 million now, but that's to meet 125% of the debt ratio, which gives us an extra 5%. As a rule of thumb, going with 1,650 residents, which we're hoping to add 100, $10 a month will generate about $200,000. So $100 a month will give you $2 million. $50 a month will give you $1 million. What the Muni Code also says is that every single family dwelling in the city of Walsenburg will pay all these fees. And we have, if you listened to Jackie earlier, we have a lot of, there's a lot of apartments, mobile home parks, a lot of different things that don't pay these fees. They pay for one master meter and one fee. So we're hoping to gain a few $100,000 or at least $100,000 by getting everybody to pay the rate. That and the new meters, a lot of city people have a little more confidence in how much that's gonna bring in. There are some meters that aren't functioning correctly, hopefully that brings in a little more. But, our initial meeting, Mr. Todd, I'm gonna call you Todd because I can't pronounce your last name.
That's fine.
Yeah, you kind of told us to raise $586,000. That was without the capital transfer, and you've changed your mind since. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so I went back and looked at the actual, bond agreements or debt covenants, and they use the terminology that any, revenue that is designated for capital purposes should not be included in the calculations. So, I think, you know, that the capital transfer from capital improvements is based on a, ballot initiative that was approved, I believe, I don't know if I can tell you the dates off on my head, but it looks pretty clear in that ballot initiative that, you know, those transfers are to be used for capital needs, not for operational needs. So I think it's prudent to not include those in the analysis. That's my line of thinking for that season.
They do say they can be used for repairs. I read it again.
Yeah, it does say maintenance, and as I told you before, I'm not an attorney, so I'm not prepared to debate the legal, you know, legally whether that it goes astray with the debt covenant or not. I mean, I think that would be an attorney question, but I think the bigger picture is that the, you know, the rate study that's being completed now includes an analysis on future capital needs. And, you know, that, is not anywhere in this, preliminary analysis. So I think, you know, leaving it out of this piece of it does allow it to be used for the future capital needs of the water and sewer fund. So, which, you know, could end up in an additional rate hike, depending on how that analysis comes out, so.
Yeah, and I'd rather only go through this once. I mean, I don't totally disagree. That would give you a little more cushion. Because we still plan on taking the capital, like the 2/3% over. But that was actually passed to get some improvements done on the lines and stuff in the city of Walsenburg, which needs to be done. They are old and deteriorating. So that money probably needs to stay there for that. We are stuck with this debt that we got to compensate for, and I don't see no way around it. So Todd, your recommendation would be, and you are the CPA of the fund, so you're stuck with most of the questions here. You think we need to raise $1.1 million?
Well, I guess I'll back up.
Okay.
That I'm not necessarily making a recommendation here. I was tasked with laying out numbers as to what, revenue looks like will cover the debt, rate, you know, ratios with a little bit of extra 5% here. You know, the issue is that these are numbers based on 2022,
and their audited numbers. But the, you know, things are not static, expenses are not static, and revenue is not necessarily static. Because if you have a real wet year, your water revenues can go down. And vice versa, if you have a dry year, they can go up. And, you know, maintenance can also vary considerably from year to year. So, I think, you know, you've hired somebody to do a rate analysis, and I'm not an expert in rates, honest about that. I was tasked with laying this out based on, you know, some historical data that is audited, and, you know, using that data and moving, you know, rolling it forward to come up with a calculation of necessary revenue. You know, and there's a lot of different ways that revenue can be raised, and I'm not prepared to, you know, get into the details of what rates are going to get increased. And I think that's really going to be part of that rate study that Scott's working on. But I do, I mean, I feel pretty comfortable with that number of, you know, approximately $1 million in being able to meet the debt covenant, at least based on those 22 numbers.
Okay, and then you think the bank, being we're so late in the year, we can sell this? I think we got a meeting at the end of the week. But you think the bank would get on board with not raising our interest rate as long as we do something? And we don't want to try, I don't want to try to make up for the quarter year we lost today.
Right.
Because your $1 million number is based on collecting that for the whole year, I would guess.
Yeah, and, you know, I think there is certainly you know, the 24, because we'll likely be through half of it or close to half of it before this rate increase gets put in place, that it's truly possible that 24 will not meet the debt covenants again. But I think the bank is, you know, they're looking, I believe they're looking at the long term. They don't really want to, certainly not foreclose on this loan. I mean, that's not a thing the bank wants to look at. Now, the interest rate hike, you know, I think, again, they're gonna look at from perspective, if there's a solid, front, there's the city to get this taken care of, and it looks like it's on the right path, I believe they should, you know, be comfortable with that. But it is their decision, so I don't know.
We'll kind of know that after we meet with them at the end of the week, right?
Yeah, you know, the question is, what do we provide from council's meeting tonight?
Right.
That says, you know, council is moving forward with this. I don't know what that looks like.
Okay, any questions? Anybody got any comments? Grand ideas? Just really quick, Todd. Someone mentioned defaulting on the loan. What would that do to us?
I don't think that's even a topic that I would entertain.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, there's, you know, if you were to ruin your rating, the city's rating by defaulting on a note, that would cause problems with your other existing debts, and it would also, if you ever have an emergency need to borrow additional funds, you're either not gonna be able to get those funds, or you're gonna pay a crazy interest rate. So I don't see that as
That's what I thought. I just wanted your opinion.
yeah.
So I have one note on this topic as well, which is that, whenever council does decide what rates they're gonna go with, it does need to be approved either via resolution or ordinance.
Can we do I think we can do the ordinance. We're already so far into the year. But I mean, can we do the write up the ordinance for next meeting? Then it's gonna take us a month. I mean, you gotta wait 2 weeks between.
What ordinance is she ready to have about?
Yeah, I think,
No rates.
yeah, Mayor, I think, there's a lot of discussion, and I think you need to really work with Scott on that rate study to determine how these rates can be increased. I mean, there's so many ways to approach this, meaning you can affect the base rates, you can affect commercial rates, you can, usage rates. There's a lot of components to this, and I don't think it's wise to rush into that. And I kinda don't see that having a quality ordinance by next week is practical.
As long as you can hold the bank off, the bank's letter stated 60 days, that was into January, that happens here pretty quick. As long as we think we're good with the bank.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that you can't have some sort of a motion to, and maybe Catherine can correct me if I'm wrong here, but maybe you can have a motion to have a, ordinance, drafted within a certain time that will achieve, the revenue increase that, you approved tonight. Now, I don't know if that's possible or not, Catherine, but you can.
I mean, council can certainly give that direction. We would just need to update the code's fee schedule with specific rate increases, in the specific areas that you want to apply them.
Right.
So we would need that information before proceeding.
Now, we could at least make a motion that we're gonna start working on the ordinance.
Sure.
Not have any rates, that way that might, being we've done that before the end of March, like they asked, they may pacify them, I think it was, I'm hearing Todd say. It should help anyway.
Yeah, and particularly if you include, a specific revenue target that you're trying to achieve.
Okay. So we can get that far tonight. I would like to beat the deadline of the end of this month. And by having something like that, at least in a motion and pass. Anybody, any comments?
No, I think it's a good idea. Well, you need something for the bank, in order to satisfy them. So, if we can, like they say, we can motion, to draw up an ordinance to cover the bond payment to satisfy the bank, not raise, or interest rate. And we'll put, a price at a later date after we investigate it.
Right,
Once
yeah.
we have our,
You making that a motion?
once we have Scott, finished with his rate study.
Okay.
Then we can put some numbers to it. That's it.
Rick, can you make a motion out of that? Rick?
I believe you can.
You got it written down there?
Yeah.
Can you read it back, please?
Yeah.
Can you read it back to us,
Or I'll
please?
read it.
All right, Rick Jennings is gonna redo the motion.
And I'd like to make a motion to, have the city attorney draft an ordinance to raise rates to satisfy the bond payment for the bank.
Which is about $1 million.
And, which is about $1 million, and, we will wait for Scott for the, what rate study to actually put a number on it. Is that good enough?
I think so. Rick, you got that? Sound good to you?
Well, I got most of it, I'll get it all, and I can get back into it, tomorrow to do the minute.
This is the video it gets it. We got a motion by Rick Jennings. Second by Nick DeHill. Any further comments?
So I just wanna be clear, here, that we're not, that we're gonna look at debt payments and usage. Because I think we still need to address tiers on
I think
usage.
that's what we need to do afterwards, because it's gonna take longer for us to figure out a tier system for it than it would be to just kind of put a base number just to cover the bond bill. Then we'll have time to look for a tier system.
I mean, because what
Because
you're
the
gonna
tiers-
do, the fees that you're gonna put on some of these people is gonna price them out of utilities. You know, I think you have to address, when you look at the high usage, when you look at, one household is 1 million gallons a year. And, someone else is less than 10,000 a year, you've got to address.
The thing we gotta look at too is how long it's gonna take us to set up a tier system.
I don't
We
think it's
can't do it in 30 days.
I think that.
Not our
Mr.
problem.
Walsenburg has kind of already looked at some of those, comparing it to other cities and how they do a tier system.
Yeah, I think his motion is fine, we're gonna have to work on how we're gonna do it. I don't think the how is done yet.
We just need to make sure we have supply in the bank.
Cause I don't even know how many commercial users there are, how many, we gotta find all that information before we even, cause it's gotta generate enough income. If you only have one user, he's not gonna make up.
And, yeah, and then what's bad about this is that, when was the last time we raised the rates? 7 years ago, 10 years ago?
2015, I think.
You know?
About 9 years ago.
Yeah, so, well, we've just been losing money since. Everything goes up, and we're still charging the same rate,
Yeah, between that and borrowing $20 million,
Yeah.
that's what happened. So.
So the numbers that Mr. Mark gave me was 1,628 users, 207 are commercial users. I have all that information.
Okay, so we need to start putting together, now, I thought first we had to figure out how much we gotta raise. If you recall the work session we had, they was talking about $2 million. And so, at least they were wrong on that. So, we got that down to 1 million.
2023, we had usage of 123 million gallons. So the numbers are there, we just need to look at them.
Say that again?
123 million gallons. No, more than that, 123 billion.
Well, yeah, there's a million ways of doing it. So what we wanna do is, we've got,
123 million.
we all agreed on, to satisfy the bank, Todd and I believe Mr. Tinklenberg both agreed that $1 million is probably necessary to take care of this debt service. And so let's agree on that, and then we'll work on this. That gives the bank something that knows we're looking at it anyway, and then we'll go figure out how we're gonna generate $1 million. Like I said before, just across the board, $50 a month is $1 million. But if we wanna shift that.
That's what I'm saying though, $50 to a business versus $50 to.
No, I'm not denying that. We can.
That's apples and oranges.
I know, but let's hash that out later. I mean, we're not gonna hash that out tonight. We don't know the data. Huh?
We do know.
Okay, give me the numbers. How much you wanna
I'm
have?
not saying that, what I'm saying is that we're figuring these numbers out, we've got to include usage, we have to adjust this.
I don't disagree.
That's all I'm asking is that we take that into
We
consideration.
will do that, yes. And make sure everybody's being charged the same. We got somebody paying commercial rates, somebody's, apartment paying for 1 meter, so we gotta make it all the same.
Stephanie, do you know if commercial rate is different than residential rate for usage?
If you're doing commercial, you have to do the average for each month. Each month is however much water that establishment's using per month. Because a residential place, you have to do it. Well, then it's sewer's different.
I'm saying straight across water usage.
You have to do it every 12 months for a residential person, and it's every month for commercial.
But the rate's the same. That's what I'm saying, what's the water rate? So residential pays 0.0038 per gallon of usage. Is that the same rate for a commercial?
Yes, but some, like Aguilar's different.
Aguilar, we don't sell water at Aguilar.
That's all I got.
I'm talking straight up water usage.
I think everyone has a 3.81 per 1,000 gallons.
Or 1,000 gallons, I think, so. So you think commercial pays that same rate? That was my question.
I'm not 100%. But yes, I think so.
Thank you. And that's for any amount of usage. If it's 100 gallons, like Mr. Ellsworth, or if it's a million gallons.
And there's no average sewer. That's a definite on commercial. So
Well,
whatever
sewer rates are
water,
supposed to
water
be-
you used in that commercial business has to be shown running that sewer, and you're getting a sewer charge.
Well, and sewer rates are supposed to be adjusted every year, even for residential. That's ordinance.
They are now. Most of them, they done it
Mine
just now.
aren't. Mine haven't changed.
Well, we didn't do it during COVID.
Oh, you're like, you're supposed to do it at the end of March, like now.
So we said in
For the sewer.
In 2022, when we were having all the billing issues from 2021, we said not to do it because of the problems we had with billing, but it was supposed to resume, and I guess it never did.
She said you're gonna have it on next bill.
Last year should have been done, wasn't it?
Mine didn't change, so unless they did the same amount.
You use the same amount. All right, let's not take any longer, we do agree what we have to raise, now we gotta do our homework and figure out how. So we got a motion on the floor by Mr. Jennings. I would entertain a second.
Second.
Oh, did you second it already? Second by Nick Hill. Any further comment? We just agree that that's what we gotta do to satisfy the bank, and we're gonna figure out how to do it later. So we'll probably have a work session, public can be involved, and we'll get to it. Roll call, please.
Mr. Ecker?
Yes.
Mayor Barsani?
Yes.
Mr. Martinez?
Yes.
Mr. Stafford?
Yes.
Ms. Mays? Yes. Mr. Vigo?
Yes.
Mr. Jennings?
Yes.
Passes.
Okay, next is the, leaf and limb program. Mr. Herman, you put this on the agenda?
Yes, we did after.
I think they were bringing them here and we're going back to doing them up in the alleys or something.
After the snows, after the wind damages, and you're getting a lot of calls for leaf and limb, and we have also with the number 5 ditch, I just put the proposal together, is what we instituted in 2018 and 2019. If you wanna do it the way we did it before, I believe, from what I've seen, just in the past 6 months, that the program that was set up where they bring it here was unsuccessful. And we didn't get a lot of leaf and limb picked up. We do have implements that can pick up leaf and limb anywhere now, in the alley, in the front, wherever. We have small implements. Before in the program, we had one implement that was a loader, that's why we picked it up in the front. So this is just a proposal to you. We are getting a lot of concerns with people. I met with Henry from Code. We have a mess, as you know. This is a perfect opportunity for us to get into it. We have the implements, we have the manpower. For the first time in 15 years, I think we're at full staff as far as water, sewer, gas, and streets. So we just wanted you to take a look at this. If there's any changes, we can make changes to it. If you don't want to do the leaf and limb, that's fine too. This is just a suggestion to kind of clean up the city of Walsenburg. So, anybody have any questions?
You guys, I think you guys gotta do the work, and if we got the staff, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
I have a question, Joey.
Go ahead, Nick.
Last year, a lot of people took it up to the dump. That saves us a lot of work.
Yeah.
We could do that again.
We did that, and I did talk to those guys, but, they said that some days they sat there for 6 hours and there was 2 customers. So we wasted 2 employees or 1 employee for 6 hours, and we didn't clean up the city. we had
I
citizens
know,
that
we
we haul
do
their
that.
stuff off, the people that didn't haul their stuff off, it's remaining on the curb and gutter. Whatever you guys would like to suggest to us, we can work on, if not, there's other things for them to do also, so, just a proposal, take a note of it. If you have any comments, you can get a hold of us, and we'll stick it together.
So do people call you? How do they do this?
They've been calling us, we had a lot of wind damage, from that last windstorm.
Snow, yeah.
We had a snow damage, people are calling, where do I take it, where do I take it? Well, I don't know, do we take it to the dump? Well, we take it to the dump, we have to have somebody out there, plus the roadways are bad, pretty bad in mud. And it's just sitting in the curb or in the alleys. So this way, if people wanna take it to the dump and have it in their truck and trailer, I think that's fine. But if they don't have the means of picking it up, I think we can offer that service. I didn't submit the records from, we were here in 2018, but I think we did around 900 customers in 2019. So I broke it down in what customers were, in what wards, and we'll take it from there.
So month of May is free of charge.
Yeah.
And then if there's anything in the next 4 months, you make a call, it's a $25 fee. And is that $25 fee then just added to your utility bill once it's picked up?
We've been having them just pay it here.
Pay it
in the
here,
past.
okay.
Yeah.
So they have to pay it before the service
Once
is
they
done?
pay it, they make the service order, we go out and pick it up.
And then will this be only done on certain days?
If like before, we would wait till we got 10 or 12, so we got a full day's worth of work.
And you just notify the person that they have to have, and it has to be at their curb?
It could be on the curb away from the meters, or any services, or in the alley now. We have
Oh, in the
ones
alley,
that can
that's
get in the alley. Cause that was a big issue before. Oh, I can't carry it to the curb. So I'd recommend the alley personally, but we had a lot of meter damage and stuff when they put it in the front.
So
But
when you have 25 per load, is there a, like, maximum size of load, or it's just one pickup is considered a
that's
load?
what we had before. I think 25 is a little cheap, but.
Absolutely, I think that's
You know,
like us.
we wanted to start somewhere.
Cause my first year here was like 50 or more, it was.
So we can make these little changes as you guys think about it. We can implement this program within 2 weeks.
I mean, I like the idea of going there and taking it if you'd like to, but I know there's a lot of people here that just can't. And I think this is a reasonable offering to get it done. And I mean, and that you're saying get it done in May and it's free.
Yeah, and then normally in like October, we have a follow-up program.
I mean, I
If
think-
something happened during the summer,
Well,
it
didn't they used
doesn't take
to
much.
do it like twice a year?
Yeah,
And you paid like on your, like, you paid
We-
$20, whatever it was at that time?
Yeah, we never put it on the utility bill.
Yeah,
For
but I mean, it
why?
was sent out in your utility bill, like you wanna do it, pay the money or whatever.
Affirmative.
I mean, this is actually kind of, I think, a little
So-
bit better.
If you guys want us to pursue this, we'll pursue it, think about it. It won't take a lot of time to implement this into the work schedules.
Any further discussion? If
I
not,
like
I'll
it.
entertain a motion.
I motion to approve this.
We have a motion by Veronica Mays, a second by Nick Beal. Any other comments? Roll call.
Mr. Martinez?
Yes.
Mr. Stafford?
Yes.
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Mays?
Yes.
Mr. Jennings?
Yes.
Mr. Ecker?
Yes.
Mayor Barsani?
Yes.
Passes.
Okay, number 9 is approval of patch purchase to order and purchase replace 2 dissolved oxygen probes. You shouldn't have sat down.
Yep.
So what is this?
That was the oxygen probes.
Yeah, it's a wastewater treatment plant.
The wastewater treatment plant. Wasn't aware.
We
I'm
have to
aware.
have these,
Go ahead, unaware of it, go ahead.
the hatch,
Hatch, yeah, that's the company that makes it out of dissolved oxygen probes. How much were they?
6,400 for 2 of them.
That goes on the basin.
Yeah, they're
How often?
3,200 apiece.
These are probably the originals.
Okay.
That's what it said.
Yeah, these are the originals.
So we won't even have a choice, do we?
Now I think that we need to get them, and then when B-Basin goes in, we'll work on those.
Well, this says that they have a service life of 5 years, so I hope they're not the originals.
We got lucky on the other, if those are the originals, we had them for a lot longer than we should have had. So,
Yeah.
I was unaware of that, but, yeah, we do need the geo codes.
I think that plant was built in 07, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's
Something like that.
10 or 12 years old.
More longer than that. All right,
Okay.
entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion
second that, and I will thank Roy very much for bringing this in a very, very timely manner of getting it and transparent. Second.
I got a motion by Don Martinez, a second by Veronica Mays. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried.
And can I interject something here?
Sure, go ahead.
Just in case nobody, realized it, Roy got his C classifications.
Oh, yeah, good job.
Good job. Raise.
Number 10, discussion approval of ordinance 1181, amending sections 13-140, 13-150, and 13-270 of the city of Walsenburg Municipal Code to clarify bill and deadlines for city water, sewer, and gas utilities and meter reading practices. What all this does is makes gas, water, and sewer, being they're put on one bill, it makes the due date, shut-off dates for all of them the same time. We had gas different than water before, and that got confusing. Now it's pretty well just get in line to where you're gonna have some extra time on your water. You got that 21 days past the due date, the past due date. So that's all this is doing is aligning water, sewer, and gas with one same time. And it mentions that the water and sewer will follow the gas ordinance. Comments, concerns, questions? I'd entertain a motion.
I have a question.
Okay, but you're gonna get me in trouble, everybody's gonna
It's an
talk.
ordinance.
You can do
Do you
ordinances.
need me to go over there?
Yeah, it'd be easier, if you don't mind. I think we did pass this thing on ordinances, you get to talk. That's good.
There before.
Okay. So, it's kind of not clear to me exactly what you're saying, because when do the bills go out?
The first of the month.
Okay, it doesn't say that. And when will the meters be read?
Well, the end of the month, and then your
They're
bill's
usually
supposed.
read on the 15th. So are you gonna change that too? Because that's gonna mess up the bills. If you read them on the 15th, then the billing won't get in until after the bills go out. I mean, see, so it's gonna be kind of messed up. That's why they read them on the 15th or around the 15th. So all of that information can be put in the computer. And then that billing pay period goes on.
Well, I don't know if it's the 15th, it
on
takes
around.
3 or 4 days to read them, and then it takes, here lately, it's been taking a little longer to put them in the computer, but normally it's the end of the month, bill goes out the first, well, that's what this is saying.
Well, but they're not read on
But the meters are read mid-month.
Yeah.
The meters are read mid-month, the bill goes out the first.
Look at your billing date. It has the billing service time frame, and it's usually 15.
They're usually mid-month, yeah.
So this is unclear as well. The,
The bills are going up the first of the month, you got till the 20th to pay it, it's gonna get shut off 31 days after that.
that's not what it says either.
5% delinquency charge
After the 20 days.
on or before the 21st, if not.
Right.
Well, but the thing is, you're saying meters will be billed on a monthly basis, but you don't give the date. And they're usually billed according, so you need to change the ordinances. You're changing the muni code, which is okay, but it's all based on ordinances. So you need to change the ordinances in order to change the, well, you need to show the ordinance on this ordinance, because you need to repeal that ordinance or that part of the ordinance, not just the muni code. You also need to be real specific, because the muni code and the ordinances, and I can't think of what they are right now, say that the bills are due the 10th day after mailing. You have up to 10 more days to pay them. The 21st day they're delinquent, and then 30 days they can get shut off. But you also need to give notice in writing, even though it says it on the bill, you gotta give 10 days notice in writing before you're actually disconnected. So there's a lot not on here. So it's very confusing, and I think you need to make a lot of changes to this ordinance the way it's written before you do it. The ordinance, I can't remember what the ordinance is, oh, darn it. But anyway, you need to do all of that stuff first before this goes, because it's not clear. It doesn't state everything the way it should. It won't agree or repeal the ordinances that are current right now, because you don't mention them and because there's no reference to them. But they do say it on the Muni Code, what the ordinances are. I think it's 960.
The ordinance actually says you can send out a bill on the 1st, 8th, 15th, or 22nd.
But you don't say that on here, what day you're gonna send it out.
Monthly, we send it monthly. We're trying to get it to where we send them out the beginning of the month, every month, so it stays consistent.
Right, but
So
you,
it's now
if
it's
you're
not
gonna,
due, it's not due to the 21st. You get 20 days after the 1st. Right? There's no such thing as a 10, the ordinance said it's past due 21 days.
but it's due
So
on the 10th.
we can't say the 10th because that's not past due. Why you say,
Well, it's due, it's not past due till the 21st
but
day.
you can pay the 19th and it's not past due?
Right,
So why say the 10th?
That's
And
That's
it's
what
dated-
it
because that's what the ordinance
That's what the
says.
ordinance said, that's what she's saying, that's what the previous ordinance says, it should be.
Well, previous ordinance did not say that.
Yes, it
It
did,
said
and
20
the
days.
Muni Code says it as well, as well. So you're looking at
So-
two different ordinances.
Katie, did you write this?
Yeah, so this ordinance specifically, it has a conflicts provision. It specifically says that all ordinances in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed. And the ordinance modifies all of the provisions in the Muni Code that aren't consistent with these new deadlines. So that 10-day due date is out of the picture. This ordinance is specifically modifying the provisions of the code so that that 10-day due date is no longer in play. Again, the past due is the 20th, and then accounts can be shut off if they're owing 30 days following the due date. So there really is, there's no other conflicting ordinances or conflicting parts of the code that need to be addressed. This ordinance completely takes care of it.
You still haven't given the day that the meters are gonna be read, which will affect your billing date,
Sometime before the 1st, that we're sending out the bills the 1st of the month.
and when the meters
Correct.
are read.
Huh?
And when the meters are read, that affects
Why do you care?
everything.
It'll be on the
It
bill.
does. It affects everything.
I don't agree. Anybody else?
The reading date and the actual number appear on the bill, whether that reading date.
Right. There's.
Under the current system, the meters cannot all be read all on the same day of the same month, all the time.
It's an
It takes time to be read.
approximate.
The new
It's on
meters
the
will change that
15th,
because they'll be
on or
radio
about.
verified, all at the exact same time. All within 2 minutes of each other, everyone in the city will be read at the same time. Currently, they cannot drive the whole city and pick up that radio all at the same time. Whether it's on the 13th, and then the next day would be the 14th, and the next day the 15th. Your bill reads, this meter was read on the 14th, and here's the number. The next month, it's gonna say your bill was read on the 16th, and here is the number. It's still the same amount of usage, it's still the same amount of billing. Just because it's 32 days instead of 29 days does not change the time when the bill is due. Thank you, Katie, for writing this. It's actually really clear. Appreciate that. Thank you for your time.
Just for clarification, we
And
still
you
have to
didn't
go
give your
out
name.
and read gas meters, right?
What's your name?
Gas meters are not
I was
gonna
thinking
be,
about that too.
yeah, so gas meters are not gonna be read the same way.
Gas meters are not read the same way. They're
Right.
not radio transmitted. They have to be
Correct,
read.
so I just wanna be clear about that those
This is
still
water.
have to be read individually and maybe read on a different day.
Right.
Than when we pull the information on water meters.
Cynthia Creswell?
Yeah.
Cindy Cresswell, did you
We're
still
doing an
speak?
ordinance, so this is come.
Hi, this is Cynthia
Yeah,
Cresswell.
Cynthia, go ahead.
Yes, last name is Cresswell. I'm not really sure if this, falls in line with this ordinance? Because you're changing the billing and all that stuff, that's why I'm asking. And I can't find the enclosure that came with my bill. One of the employees made mention, or some notification went out that stated if the meter readers could not gain access to the property to read the meters, then the bills would be averaged out based on previous usage. And when the next time came that they could actually read the meters, if there was an overage and an amount due that the user or customer at that time would be required to pay whatever difference was. There's also no mention though of refunds if the usage is less. So I don't know if that would fall in line with this ordinance or not, but that's something that needs to be addressed, because if you use 500 gallons more than they average and you have to pay for that, that makes perfect sense. But if you use 500 gallons less than what they average, then you also need your money back or a credit towards your bill or something to that effect. That wasn't addressed in your ordinance either.
Yeah, but you'll get a credit on what you overpaid.
But there was no mention of it, just that you would have to pay the overage. That's why I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, thank you. We can't put, not everything in the ordinance is confusing to people already, so.
You have to put everything so that people know.
Here you go. Any other comments? We got an ordinance in front of us. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 1181, and ordinance amending sections 13-140, 13-150, and 13-6-270 of the City of Walsenburg Municipal Code to clarify billing deadlines for city water, sewer, and gas utilities, and meter reading practices.
I got a motion by John Martinez, a second by Ronald Stafford. Any further comments? Roll call.
Mr. Vehil?
Yes.
Ms. Mays?
Yes.
Mr. Jess, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Ecker?
Yes.
Mr. Jennings?
Yes.
Mr. Stafford?
Yes.
Mayor Barsani?
Yes.
Mr. Martinez?
Yes.
Passes.
Katie, we're back to you. Have you got caught up?
Yeah, so I took a look at that contract. I think I really need an R form to make sure that all of our standard contract provisions are in there. And I think city council might want to take a little more time to perhaps look at a market rate study of compensation for city administrators as well.
I guess we're gonna pay you $125 an hour until we figure this out. You guys got any other better suggestions? Katie, do you have a going rate for interim consultant?
Not off the top of my head, but I know that DOLA has some information out there and some guidance out there. We have some other municipalities that have a list of salaries for city administrators in other cities. I think it might be valuable in making a decision.
Huh?
Well, just considering what amount we listed in our last posting. I mean, I think that's where we got some of those numbers from. So, I mean, the other thing is, I think we need to post for a permanent administrator.
We can do that, but we need an interim in
Well, we need
between.
to do that, but we also need to get some contestants.
We can, that's one at a time. I would recommend we put Mr. Tinklenberg. Have Katie, are you okay with Katie redoing your contract?
Potentially, it depends on what changes she wants,
Yeah. Are you available to stick around a little while?
as in by tomorrow.
That's what I'm asking, okay. You need to know something by tomorrow?
Well, I do have an interview scheduled for tomorrow.
council's pleasure.
Let the lawyer do her job.
I don't think we can approve anything until our lawyer approves it.
I have to agree with that.
Okay.
I don't wanna go into a contract that the lawyer hasn't approved. I mean, I understand we do need somebody, but we need to have our lawyer look at it.
We could have a special meeting to use it.
Yeah.
When we get the information.
What information you looking for?
Whatever the attorney comes back with, I mean, that's what we're saying, let her do her job. I'm kind of disappointed that she didn't see this before the meeting.
That was on the agenda. We looked at it.
Last minute.
Probably something to ask her about.
Didn't send her the contract before the fucking.
They just put it on today.
No, I think it was on the agenda and she should have looked at it prior. I think
It
put the
wasn't.
city in a bind by not doing something immediately, so you guys decide.
What types of things, is cost, your main concern, Ms. Farah?
That's really up to you. It's more of, provisions regarding term and termination, standard legal provisions that we want to have at the end of the contract. And honestly, just, again, having a little time to look this over, I wasn't directed to look at it. I know at the last meeting, city council, made a statement about attorney fees, and if I'm not asked to look at something and provide input, then I'm not going to.
Should have been sent to her, so she could review it.
Can we take a look at it? Right now?
You're a lawyer?
I'm not a lawyer.
That's interesting.
It's $3,400 a week and $1,200 a month. Living expense. $85 per month.
It's not about the money, it's about the provisions.
Yeah, what about termination?
It's a 9-month contract right now, the way it's written.
6 months.
It says March to December, that's 9 months. It says March ending December, that's 9 months when I counted out. 9.5 months, really.
How much we paying the lawyer?
I thought we agreed on 6 months, but I didn't agree.
They gonna pay her and then ignore her?
I would just like to give Ms. Beer a couple days to legally look at it. I mean, her job is, we hired her to protect the city, and she could come back with the recommendations, we could call a special meeting. Only takes 24 hours to call a special meeting, and it could be Zoom, it could be in person, whatever it may be.
Yeah, cause this is a contract, we're gonna say 9 months, but the exhibit B says 6 months.
Well, the date says it turns in December 31st, so that's 9 months.
But, Roger, didn't we agree, like, if it was 30 days, 60 days, we go by the months, basically? So you're okay with 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months?
Right.
Okay.
But is there a 30-day clause in there that says that?
Yeah, it says 30-day notice.
I still would like Ms. Vera to put that and put it, like she said, in her form that has that wording in it.
I'd like to make a motion to have our attorney look at this contract and get back to us as soon as she is done with that. And then we can call a special meeting if we like.
Second.
We have a motion by Don Martinez, a second by Veronica May. Any comments?
I'm good with that.
Roll call.
Mr. Anker?
I'd like to see Mr. Keith put on.
Yep.
Yes or no?
Who's gonna fill in the role? For a special meeting?
I'm gonna have to say no.
Mr. Jennings?
Is Mr. Capenberg, would he kind of hold off until we get to this, within a couple days?
Said he has an interview tomorrow.
I know.
Roger, you wanna answer that?
In
terms of timing, it doesn't matter to me. But be aware that I've been contacted by another city to be their interim city manager. So, you know, as long as it's up in the air, I will interview with them. But again, at the same time, I don't wanna leave you guys in the lurch, but, you know, if I have a different job, I'll take it, you know? So it's sort of balance that out, I guess.
I'll vote yes.
Ms. Mays?
Yes.
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Mr. Stafford?
No.
Mr. Martinez?
Yes.
Mayor Barsani?
No.
Passes.
I'll try to get it done as soon as I can.
That's
I'll
fine.
get a meeting as soon as we can.
Catherine, how soon can you have that drawn up?
I can have red lines by the end of the week, hopefully.
By Thursday or Friday?
By Friday.
Okay.
Wow. Wow.
As soon as I get this. Can we call a special meeting for Friday and knowing that you're gonna have that available?
Sure, if you just let me know what time it's gonna be at.
6 o'clock Friday. We got a couple of people who work 6 o'clock Friday, right?
Yeah.
6 o'clock Friday, okay? You can do it on Zoom, just send us, it'd be nice if you could get that to us early in the day, that'd give everybody a day to look at it.
I will get it to you as soon as I can.
You was gonna look at two things. What was the other one?
It's Waltz's termination.
You look at the termination thing on her contract, or I think she was on an interim month by month. Cause she served the 4 months already, I think. Did you look at that
Right.
at all?
So the motion I heard was, accepting her resignation effective immediately. I think we'll just have to reach out to her, confirm that with her. I don't know if she's left the city or not. The agreement does provide for 30 days notice from each party. So I think that's something that we just have to discuss with her to make sure that we're on the same page.
She hasn't been at work. She hasn't been at meetings, she hasn't been in the office.
If we have to, we can pay her 4 or 5 days.
And didn't she give notice at the beginning of the month? That'll be 30 days.
It was actually the end of February.
February 27th.
I need her for cause, she doesn't show up.
So worst gonna do is the end of the month. Okay, that's good. If you get any more info on that one, let us know.
Okay.
The money's just to the end of the month, right, Gary?
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's the only thing in question, I think.
Yeah.
Well, you know you don't have nobody, then start with one. That's where you're at.
We do have,
You got him.
take care of inside and outside, Joe. You know, I don't know what else to do.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We got a motion by Nick Hill.
Did you guys miss
No council
councilman
comments?
comments, directions, and actions?
Oh, sorry, I was wanting to leave.
Me too.
Mayor and council comments. Veronica, you wanna go first? Don?
I don't know how the city can afford to pay, and I have no problem with Mr. Tinkenberg, but to pay the amount he's asking and then turn around and raise rates on our customers. I mean, I realize we're in a bind as straighten out the city if we decide to pay them that much.
That rate for the city decides.
Well, that's,
I remember that.
I mean, that's twice as much as we were paying all the administrators up until this interim administrator.
Combined with what we did last week.
Yeah.
It's your chance, Veronica. Don's got the floor.
That's all I have.
Ron?
That comment Carmen Lauren made, I don't know what she's referring to, somebody made a comment. In no way would I ever disrespect the city, fellow council members, I don't know what she's talking about. but
Watch the video.
I didn't appreciate, excuse me, on the floor, I didn't appreciate your comment, and it's untrue. So, that's it.
Okay. All I got is, we are at a crossroads here. We need to make some progress. We're down to an attorney that's, leaving at May 10th, and an administrator that's gone now. We will have no administration tomorrow, or Thursday, or Friday. This discussion on water rates is very important and very severe to the public. We need to get it fixed. We got a lot of issues in front of us. And I don't wanna do it on my own, and that was my big concern. I need some help. And so I'm very disappointed we did not do that. I'd like to thank Todd. He's good with the numbers and I understand them a little better, so that helps. But we still have this issue. The city took on this debt to build the city lake and the 2 treatment plants and the pump station in Northlands, and that costs money. We didn't cause this, but now we gotta pay for it. And that's where we're sitting. We got to figure out how to pay for it.
Everybody's gotta help pay for it.
Yeah.
What?
Okay. Me, Fred?
I think a very important point was, hasn't been mentioned, Mr. Walsenburg has several years of experience, which I don't think was looked at before. And his involvement in the finances and stuff, that's been one of my main driving forces here, was to get utility bills corrected and to have water to sell. We have water to sell now, and we really need to watch what we do with the billing. And he's quite involved in it right now, so hopefully he sticks around long enough to help us out. That's my feeling.
Okay, agree. Nick, anything?
Yeah, I think we need to set up that meeting with P and Z and the citizens that want to be involved with the rate study and Fremont. We need to work on Fremont now. What are we gonna do with them?
Well, I don't know.
Nobody knows.
Turn it over to your administrator. You don't have one. I agree, we could work that in with Friday's session with this.
That
with,
would work.
Planning and zoning and Wardell's and
Yeah.
council if you want to.
Yeah, I would.
Everybody in favor of doing Friday, to try to take care of both of them, rather than have 2 meetings? Yeah. I don't see why we can't hash out that contract thing in half an hour.
Yeah.
We got all the data, and then we'll have this after that for the planning and zoning. Joanne, is that good by you? You're the only one here I see from planning and zoning. I'll send out an email to everybody. Okay.
Well, I'm on here as well, Mr. Designing, so Stacy Decker, so you're saying Friday at 6?
Yeah, we'll probably take care of Mr. Tinkleberg's contract at 6, and following that, I would guess a half an hour past that. So 6 is fine, and we'll just move on to that one as soon as we're done with the first one.
Let's see if Mr. Rose can do it as well.
Thank you, and then I'll send out an email tomorrow. Okay, Rick?
think we need to have a conversation with, Mr. Colander, to see if he would be willing to help us in an interim position again, until we can find a way to get Mr. Tinkenberg in here, or another interim administrator. And I would also like to see us have a conversation with Mr. Harriman about helping us out on the exterior side of the city, streets, alleys, water, gas, till we get through this, dilemma. And that's all I have.
Okay, so we probably wait till we see what happens Friday?
I would have a conversation with him tomorrow
In 2 days.
and see what we can do, so we were not without.
Well, I think he's automatically charged
Yeah.
for 2 days, so.
So we'll, have
Can we instruct him not to hire or fire nobody in 2 days? Or give any raises?
yeah.
Okay, that's it.
No,
Now?
I didn't get my phone. I just said I didn't want to go first.
Go ahead, Ron.
So, one of the things that Mr. Martinez found last time and our attorney did address were some of the raises and compensations that were put in place. I would like to, if it's part of Friday's meeting, go through the exercise that she said there and address those raises. Because I don't believe that some of them were given
Yeah,
appropriately.
I would like to do
And it
that.
doesn't have to be at Friday, it could be at our next meeting, but I think we need to follow up on
I'd
it.
like to have to do that when we have an administrator, kind of, at least
I
somebody.
just don't want it to fall to the wayside like everything else does.
I agree with that. Okay, how about now?
Motion to adjourn.
You need a motion if you're gonna direct David Harriman. You need to give the mayor direction.
So no decisions can be made until we're back in place.
Ron Stafford. What was that?
You need to make a motion if you're going to direct David Harriman to do anything, because you can't just go do it.
I'm gonna wait till, see what Friday does.
Okay.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion, meeting adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Oh, don't drop your stuff. All right, everybody. I know there's nobody in here, but whoever watches it back. Thanks, thanks for watching.
I did the math. It's impossible. They're screwed.
Million gallons.
To raise $1 million.